Welcome everyone to our first fall international seminar series, the first session of it. This seminar is being recorded and right now is being broadcast on our Facebook, the CALS International Programs Facebook. We will share the recordings on our CALS International Programs YouTube page and on our website, and we will be sending an email with a link to it to all of our registrants. I am Adrienne Tucker, the Assistant Director of CALS International Programs. In CALS International Programs, we work to internationalize the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences through various opportunities, such as hosting these webinars of international researchers to connect our students, faculty, and staff to international opportunities and partnerships. We partner with CALS SAIGE to offer these international seminars. CALS SAIGE is a student association for international and global engagement for all of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at NC State. Today, we are happy to welcome Ines Hajdu. She is the Agro Success Manager of AGRIVI in Croatia. Ines holds a Master of Agribusiness and Rural Development and Bachelor of Agriculture Economics from both the University of Zagreb and Croatia. Ines manages the pre-onboarding and post-onboarding processes for enterprise clients, including mapping of client processes into the AGRIVI platform. So I will turn it over to Ines to share with you her expertise in this, and I look forward to hearing everything that Ines has to share. So I'll turn it over to Ines.
Thank you, Adrienne. Just a second to check, is my presentation visible, like the slideshow? Not the whole presentation, but only the slideshow.
We can see it, but it's not the whole presentation. We can see the slides on the left-hand side.
I think it's something is being late. Just a second. Just a second to share the screen once again. Is it better now?
No, we can't see. I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Just a second. I think that something is late in sharing the screen. What about now?
No, it's not sharing.
And now?
You're sharing now, yes.
Thank you very much. Sorry for technical issues. Hello, everyone. My name is Ines, and today I will speak about maximizing efficiency and profitability, while at the same time ensuring sustainability by using AGRIVI farm management software. So before I proceed with this big global team, let me just present you myself and tell you a few information about my agriculture journey. When I was actually a student, like most of you are, I have searching for purpose-driven job. And for this reason, AGRIVI seemed like an ideal company for me because AGRIVI had set clear goals on the way to change how the way food is produced. So I joined AGRIVI 5 years ago, and today I'm in a position of Agro Success Manager, responsible for managing pre-onboarding and post-onboarding processes for enterprise clients, which include mapping of their processes into AGRIVI, performing educations for clients, tracking their progress, and actually helping them implement AGRIVI into their business. Besides that, I also do on content writing and making AGRIVI database where I have an opportunity to share about the best farm practices in order so that farmers can achieve sustainable food production. Some of you may have heard about AGRIVI. In case that you didn't, AGRIVI is a global agtech company focused on delivering software solutions for the agricultural value chain. As you can see, we were founded in 2013, and today we have offices in UK, Croatia, Romania, and Poland. AGRIVI is listed as one of the leading global players in farm management software industry, and today we have customers all over the world. Vision of the company is changing the way food is produced by positively impacting over 1 billion people. And as a mission, we empower farmers and agri-food companies with digital agriculture solutions to help them reach economically and environmentally sustainable food production.
Ines, 1 second. Your presentation isn't advancing. Oh, there it goes.
You mean that my slideshow is being late?
Yes, I think it's not full screen. So if you can do it to the presenter. Oh.
Just a second. Let me try and do something. So can you see now the entire
Perfect.
Okay. Maybe I should slow down the changing of slides. Okay. So we are here on vision part. I will repeat once again. So because just as a background of the story, the vision is one of the first things that actually was my some attractive thing that drive me to select AGRIVI as a company where I will work when I was a student. So the vision is changing the way food is produced by positively impacting over 1 billion people. And as our mission, we empower farmers and agri-food companies with digital agriculture solutions in order to help them that they can reach economically and environmentally sustainable food production. We have constant cooperation with various research institutions, universities, and we work on different projects with those institutions in order to also contribute to the development of our software. I'm also happy to announce that our CEO is even a member of the Faculty Council of International Digital Agriculture Study at University in Croatia. And we are often participating on various guest lectures on various faculties, such as Faculty of Agriculture, Zagreb, University of Bologna. And these lectures are on different topics, such as precision agriculture, improving farm profitability and productivity, while at the same time ensuring sustainability. AGRIVI as a market leading farm management software, actually enables large agribusiness companies to control their complex farm operations, to make data-driven decisions, optimize their production costs, and improve their yields based on real-time insights and advanced field analytics. So our platform is available as web and mobile application, and it supports also Android and iOS, as well as in online and offline mode. So this offline mode means that farmers can use application even when they're in the field without internet connection, which is extremely important because they're busy and they don't have time to wait that they come in the office or at home where they have internet connection to access their data or to make entries regarding their farm practices. Since all farm data is stored in a cloud, it can be easily accessible, and most important, there is no any risk of losing some valuable information. And besides that, everything is also organized. We support all types of crop production, arable crops, fruit crops, vegetables, and other crops such as ornamental plants, fiber plants, and so on. Since AGRIVI is also a global company, we have user interface in 14 different languages, and we include all global currencies. As you can see, there is also a built-in database of global and local commercial products, and the platform provides localized pest alerts based on geographical distribution of pests per each region. Besides that, we also have out-of-the-box integration with weather station, farm machinery, but also an open API so that there is a possibility to integrate with any third-party system. By using our platform, farmers actually have a complete support in planning the entire production cycle. This refers to creating crop rotation plan, like tracking the utilization of all fields per crop production, and which is extremely important in order to ensure optimal soil conditions. Besides that, they can also plan budget, and in the end of the season, they can analyze planned and actual based on all expense invoices which they register into AGRIVI. Farmers can also make seasonal agronomy plan by creating a list of all recommended activities which are needed to perform during the season and detailed instruction in terms of what should be done, which products should be used, and which persons should perform specific activities. So they can also plan daily work orders. Not only which persons should perform specific activity, but also in which amount specific commercial products like pesticides or fertilizers should be used, so that at the end they can analyze planned and realized resource usage. So besides planning, AGRIVI also has field operation management so that farmers can track all their farm activities from planting, sowing, fertilizing, spraying, until harvesting. And in the end, they can analyze overall production results. Here, I would like to emphasize specifically scouting as one of the important activities from the agronomy side. So scouting or field observation, however farmers like to call it, is actually inspection of the field to see are there any damages due to insect pests and diseases or due to unfavorable weather, abiotic disorders, and so on. So how AGRIVI supports farmers in performing scouting is that we provide satellite imagery and farmers can remotely detect scouting location. So based on area which are marked as problematic with low vegetation, farmers can know which part of the field exactly they need to observe to see what is happening with the crop. Is there any insect pest or disease present, or is there some abiotic disorder, and so on. So besides having detected scouting locations, what farmers also can do is that they can provide photo evidence of their scouting, they can enter the notes, and what's even more important, they can tag the location where they went into the field, and they can also justify spraying so that they know that they perform protection based on scouting, that this is reactive protection and not protection based on just a feeling. We also know that farm profitability and productivity is something that largely depend on weather, because of that, tracking precise weather data for each location is extremely important. So this is one of our most important features in AGRIVI, that we enable farmers to track precise weather conditions, and that they get alarms about unfavorable weather conditions such as hail, frost, heavy rain, as well as automated alarms about the possible insect pest or disease occurrence, which will ensure that farmers perform on-time crop protection. And what is the most important for farmers and agribusiness companies is having the ability to make decisions based on real-time data from the field. So for this purpose, our interactive dashboards provide farmers possibilities to see the best performing fields, the best performing crops and varieties, as well as to see the resource utilization. So on which field there is higher usage of nutrients, and on which field there is higher usage of protection product, how this reflects to productivity of each crop and each variety, and so on. So besides having these interactive dashboards, what farmers and agribusiness companies have is the possibility to export all production data into reports. By doing so, what they can do is that they can use these reports either for the purpose of national legislative reporting, either for their own purpose internal, like for making analysis of production processes, or to provide traceability to their customers, so that they can provide the entire information from seed to harvest, how crop is grown. So this is possible by just having these reports in few clicks. One of our special example of report is also traceability reports, which gives companies possibility to generate this QR code. So by generating and putting that code to harvested crops, companies get possibilities to showcase their customers their practices. So what happens in the practice? When a consumer scans this QR code, he can see the entire effort put behind one production season. How long was the season duration? What was the effort in terms of working hours? And what is the most important for end consumer is which active substances were applied, which nutrients were applied, what is the nutrition value of that specific crop. And actually, as a result, consumers get the privilege of knowing what they eat. And on the other hand, company gets higher value from their products. So today, we are aware that there is very high pressure from international institutions, from governments, from consumers, and as well as food processing companies to ensure healthy, nutritious, and safe food. And for this reason, today there are numerous food processing companies which bring responsible food sourcing standards. This means that all suppliers, so all farmers which are producing crops for companies, need to meet these standards and ensure that they provide complete traceability and transparency of their production. So by following these standards, farmers need to change their practices. For example, if I'm a farmer and if I want to grow apples, I cannot do preventative spraying. What I need to do is that I have to monitor weather conditions. I have to monitor my field and the situation in my orchard. And then if there is an actual risk of occurrence of specific insect pest or disease, I should do reactive spraying, not preventative spraying, which is performed only based on my feeling. And in the end, we get the result of overall reduction of chemicals because farmers perform spraying when it's actually needed. So here I'm bringing you examples of our clients who from food processing industry that will show you how digitalization can actually help bringing responsible food sourcing standards and how they're bringing that solutions to their farmers. This one first example is a baby food producer, and their targeted clients are babies. For this reason, these companies need to have very strict standards about crop production and in terms of which active substances should be used in which quantity, as well as did their farmers produce crop production based on already set, predefined high quality standards. So by using AGRIVI, what a baby food processing company can get is that platform will monitor every single field and track weather conditions. Platform will detect and alarm farmer in case that there are some possible upcoming infestations due to insect pests or diseases for every single crop. And when there is an actual risk on a specific field and crop production, farmer will get alert. That way, that farmer will know that he needs to perform spraying, that he needs to protect his crops in order to prevent and avoid yield losses. However, the company will know that farmer has performed reactive, not preventative spraying. And what's even more important, company will know on which fields farmers did spray, which products did he use, which active substances, in which quantity, and they will be able to track exact waiting period that needs to pass between spraying and harvesting. So they will know is that product actually, is that apple or whatever crop is grown, is that safe to be consumed. So that's why by ensuring complete transparency, actually digital agriculture ensures food safety. And the other example is a food processing company that produces sweet corn in a can. They use AGRIVI to reduce food waste. So what is their story? They, in order to make the premium product, they have very short time, just 4 hours, to process corn from harvesting, transporting, processing, and in the end, filling that corn in the can. And during that short time, the company doesn't have enough time to do the quality testing. So in the end, what they do is that they sample these corn cans afterwards. And in case that they find that pesticides residues are too high, or even that farmer has used some forbidden product, what they need to do is they need to throw away entire batch. And as a result, all corn that came from harvested field is wasted. So in this case, digital technology can help in the way that our platform is bring from company to farmers. And when farmer sprays his corn, he gets information on which field did he spray corn, what was the waiting period, and is he suitable to harvest on that field based on waiting period. So is that product safe to be consumed, or are there still any residues of pesticides? So at the moment of harvest, the company will see that the information, is it too early to perform to harvest, or they should do it immediately. So as a result, AGRIVI as a company fits to 12 out of 17 sustainable development goals by bringing that digital technology to farms to help them produce better. And not only to farms, but also to food companies which collaborate with these farms. So individual small farmer, he knows how to grow a crop, but maybe what he doesn't know is how to produce crop in a specific nutritive value. And here, food processing company plays an important role. So what they can do is that they can detect best practices of all farmers who are having the best performing results in terms of yields, in terms of nutritive value. And what they do through digital agricultural solutions such as AGRIVI is that they can share these best practices with other farmers, so that other farmers are also available to achieve the same yield and, most important, the same nutritive value. The other case here is climate change. So we are all aware that today, not only that agricultural production directly depends on climate change, but it's also a significant contributor to climate change. Agriculture is even responsible for 23% of global gas emission. So it's a big pressure on farmers. In one hand, they need to ensure that they produce their crops, that they are productive, that they can sell these crops in order to earn the money and feed the families. And on the other way, farmers need to ensure that they lower their environmental footprint to ensure sustainable food production. So this is why digital agriculture plays an extremely important role by giving a farmer knowledge how to produce in an efficient and sustainable way to be able to sell their crops and earn the money and feed their families, while at the same time lowering their environmental footprint. And what we do in AGRIVI is that we are pushing that knowledge to farms about climate smart practices, for example, how to achieve optimal fertilization in order to achieve nutritious soil, but on the other hand, minimize carbon footprint, or how to avoid yield losses due to pests, while at the same time avoiding preventative spraying. Because late crop protection is one of the main challenges, and digital technology helps here. This is important because when we look at the percentage of crop that is lost due to insect pests and diseases, which is between 20 and 40%, this is very big thing. So farmers and food processing companies need to ensure to achieve this productivity, while on the other hand, minimizing their environmental footprint. What we also do is that we support farmers in performing their practices only when it's needed. So farmers track exact weather conditions, they track soil condition, crop condition, and based on that, they plan when it's optimal to perform specific activity. And in the end, that results in minimizing the overall carbon footprint, because every entry into the field in machinery, which is unnecessary, contributes to global gas emissions. And by lowering that unnecessary entry to field, we're contributing to ensuring sustainability. In that manner, we have also achieved partnership with global organization of businesses and organization which are gathered around the same goal of achieving this global sustainability. We have also one more example of our client that uses AGRIVI in order to achieve sustainable production, and this is Driscoll's. I believe that most of you have heard about Driscoll's, which is largest producer of fresh berries in the world. So not only that they breed and produce, but they also market and sell berries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. And they also have research farming team, which works with breeders in order to improve varieties of these 4 berry crops. So what is their situation? Their research farm is spread on sites all over the world. They have more than 25 sites in United States, Mexico, Spain, Portugal, and even Morocco. And before using AGRIVI, their research farming team had already established farm processes and roles. But what they didn't have is that they didn't use a singular platform for farm management. So they tried to accomplish their work by using multiple non-integrated systems such as Microsoft Excel, SharePoint, Word, Outlook, but they were missing one centralized access to data and on a global scale. And what's even more important, they were missing business intelligence. So this was the main reason why they decided to use AGRIVI, to standardize and centralize their farm operations in terms of farm management activity planning, in terms of plant and inventory supply, as well as to ensure business intelligence and meteorological and environmental metrics. But what is also important for companies such as Driscoll's is multi-language access because they're a global company, and FMS solution which will be supported through web and mobile application, providing also the possibility of having offline mode. Because in case of trials where there is no internet connections, they cannot afford to wait for coming to office or somewhere on internet connection. They need to have access to their data and the ability to make entries at any moment. So as you can see on example of few of our clients and Driscoll's, the digital agriculture is already changing the way food is produced. And this is happening by providing farmers and companies the possibility and knowledge to ensure sustainable and profitable food production. Now it's only up to those farmers and companies to be a part of that change. And the responsibility is not only on farmers and companies in themselves, but also it's up to me and you as consumers to make an impact, to ensure that we support these farmers and these companies which decided to embrace sustainable practices and ensure food traceability. So let's make an impact and let's build the future together. Thank you for listening. I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, Ines. If anyone has any questions, you can either put them into the chat or you can feel free to unmute yourself. We have not too big of a group that we can go ahead and do that. And we can take questions.
So I have a question.
Go ahead, Jose.
Sure.
Sorry, my camera's not working right now. So with all this data gathering from different companies, I guess, of course, many farmers and companies want to keep some of their information private, but is there any possibility of sharing information, some way of aggregation that protects private information, but at the same time provides, great data that can be used for improving farming operations in the future?
So in terms of how company which actually uses AGRIVI can share practices, like the best practices for the future?
Well, but you are not only, you're collecting information related to problems that happens and then how you solve, right? timing of application.
Yeah.
There's a lot of data that is being collected.
Yeah, I understand now your question. So when all data from clients is secured, so it's not up to AGRIVI to share the data of best practices like from specific client that we track their practices and share them to others. That is not like that the point. So all the data from specific company is their own data. So they have ownership over that data, not AGRIVI. What AGRIVI has is a database, like big agronomic database, which includes like recommended practices for the most important types of crops, the database regarding the insect pest and diseases, the database regarding commercial products of such as fertilizers and so on. But when a food processing company uses AGRIVI and for their own purposes, what they can do is that they can detect the best practices of their farmers and share them to other farmers who are maybe not so productive in order to improve productivity of those farmers.
Okay, so to that point, that information that AGRIVI has of recommendations, where is AGRIVI collecting that information? So it is because, you know, recommendations change year, you know, it is improved. There's new technologies, new products. So how are you keeping up to date?
Sure. We have agronomists in company who constantly work on updating our database and constantly change that. You know that there is also every year there is also many new commercial products which are updated. So and some of products which are currently not in the use. So that's on our agronomists to edit that database to be ready for end users and updated so that they can use it in terms of, let's say, not only having the list of best practices, but also having updated list and possibility to register all the products, to have insect pest and disease alarms and so on. But also, not only that our agronomists work on the database, it's up to customers. So some things customers can manage by themselves. They can also create their own database. So in case that, let's say, customer uses specific product and he cannot find that product in AGRIVI database for some reason, there is possibility to add that product in custom database. Or in case that for some, let's say, crop production, we don't have some insect pest or diseases listed in our database, and customer has detected new insect pest or disease on his field and his crops, what he can do is that he can create custom insect pest and disease. Because you know that specifically regarding the insect pest and diseases, nowadays when climate is changing, the conditions for many diseases and insect pests are also changing. And it's even hard for scientists to detect the exact conditions. So that is something that is changing. However, the clients have the possibility of also creating their own custom database with various types of entries.
Excellent.
Great, thank you for your question.
Any other questions? I do have a question myself. Before you started your presentation, we were talking about how the students, you know, the whole point of going to university is eventually to get a job. When you're hiring new students, obviously you're a very high technology company and very forward thinking, and I like how you tied in the UN SDGs. You're very you're thinking, putting all the pieces together. What is it that you're looking for when you are hiring new people to join your company? What are some of like the skill sets that you're looking for whenever you're looking to hire people to join in on your team?
Well, I'm not HR, but I'm in a company for 5 years, and I know how it works in general. So besides, of course, required skills for a specific position, what is important is passion, because in AGRIVI we have really strong culture. We are everything. Everyone in company is related, and it's important to have that supportive climate in the team. So passion and of course other skills requireable for a specific position, I believe that is the most important. But the most important thing is to be passionate about doing what you do.
Yeah, I agree. You have to. Anyone else? Go ahead, Jose.
So, okay, and I'm wondering, your company does some work with in collaboration with universities? Do you have some projects together?
Yeah, that is also something that I have shared, but maybe as my sharing of screen was a little bit not working. So we have constant collaboration with multiple universities, and not only like in terms of guest lectures, but also like R&D collaborations where we participate on different projects, and these projects also, what they do is that they improve our software. So we have a constant R&D collaboration with faculty of electrical engineering and computing in the University of Zagreb. So this is one of the examples, but we also perform often guest lectures such as these on various international universities and studies. And these lectures are often about the topics such as precision agriculture, digital agriculture. They often include global topics such as sustainability, and as well as farm productivity and profitability, because this is also something that is very interesting to students, to see how companies resolve these problems from real cases.
Right. So I'm sorry that I'm capturing the question. Maybe someone else wants to make a question.
No, it's okay. Feel free to ask.
So I'm just thinking that, and I don't know how complicated is the use of the software, but in many cases, part of the education of the students is to learn the use of technology, right? So once they graduate and they get their job, they are ready to right away use the technology instead of starting learning. So is there cases where you work, let's say University of Zagreb, where your technology, your software is being used, so the students in Zagreb learn how to use it as part of that? Is there an agreement like that?
So just to comment about how software is user-friendly. We have user-friendly interface, and everyone who knows how to use computers and internet can really use the software. Besides that, we also have support chat and onboarding materials. But what is the most important? The difference is about processes. So when we have, let's say, big enterprise farm and big enterprise client or food processing companies, we are talking about much more complex processes than processes of an individual farmers. So in that case, what I actually do is that we analyze those processes and help customers that these processes are mapped into AGRIVI. So we guide them step by step how they can do something that they did before using AGRIVI to transform that into AGRIVI. So that's how we solve complex operation. On other hand, how, let's say, students can benefit of one of that product is by learning how to actually use this software to see, let's say, digital technologies like satellite imagery, how to use it in practice. So what actually can be done with like one satellite map by connecting various sensors, what actual data farmers can get by connecting their sensors into AGRIVI, or by analyzing some test cases. But of course, it's different based on each project. We also have projects where we analyze potato production and the best practices with Faculty of Engineering and of University of Zagreb. So it's up to project from project. But generally, the software is made to be user-friendly and to have user-friendly interface. However, in case of complex farm processes, we jump in as support to guide customer step by step how to map those processes directly into AGRIVI. Thank you. Maybe some questions from students.
Do you have any other questions? Okay, everyone's quiet. They were just all very impressed with the technology.
I have a last question, and I promise this is the last question I will do.
No, feel free. Students are maybe too shy to ask.
They're shy, yeah. They're sending me the notes so I can do the question for them.
Sure.
So in dimension-wise, is this from what size of farm are we talking about? From will make sense to use the product, you know?
Literally everything.
So if I have a small,
literally everything. Yeah, we cover from smallholder farms to big enterprise clients. But what is the case that also, as I mentioned in my presentation, so if a smallholder farmer, which has, let's say, only 1 hectare of vegetable, doesn't come to us as AGRIVI, but he collaborates with food processing company that will purchase his tomatoes or whatever is he producing. So the company will bring AGRIVI to that farmer. And with the point to provide that farmer, so what the farmer will get, he will get a tool where he can see the best practices, where he can get pest and disease alarms, where he can analyze overall production and see on which field he has low productivity and on which field he has high productivity, and make decision what to improve in order to achieve better production for the next season. And on the other hand, what company gets is that traceability, which was the big topic during the entire presentation, because based on traceability, the company has possibility to position itself better on the market, to answer to on pressure from consumers, from governments, from various international organizations. So it's like a win-win situation for both like smallholder farmer and for a company as well. And not only that, but also the entire collaboration between farmer and a company. So that a company can just alert a farmer that, let's say, today you have some possible diseases, do something, or there is a new protection product, you can try to use that, and at the end of the season we will see is the change of the product maybe reflected in yield result. So we have literally all types of customers, and not only farmers and food processing companies, but also various stakeholders in the agribusiness industries, including banks, NGOs, governments, advisory institutions as well, where they manage their network of farmers in like from one centralized place to be able to communicate with those farmers, to be able to monitor what they do, and to improve their production in the end. So it can be applicable in many different cases. Insurance company as well. We are all aware that today there is more and more unfavorable weather and damage in crops due to that. So that's why also for insurance companies, tools such as AGRIVI is extremely important. So literally all agribusiness industries, but each industry with different, of course, goals and needs.
I have a question. I'm not a student either, but I'm a research associate. So I understand you said that some farmers can use AGRIVI, say if, for example, they are collaborating with a processing company, right? But for a small farmer to directly be able to use your software, perhaps the most important consideration in my mind is how much would that cost them to use your service. I wonder how much that costs them for a farmer to use your package.
Yeah, the price of the software is something that can be, let's say, defined based on each product plan and based on each type of customer and his processes, because each type of customer has different processes. And what is also important here is the number of users. So how much employees need to have access to AGRIVI. So it's something that really is not fixed, but it depends based on type of client, based on number of the users and the features, because somebody will want to have everything like the satellite imagery, sensors integrated, and so somebody will just need like basic platform with basic features. So it's something that really depends based on that. However, what your question made me to comment is that you're probably thinking there is no smallholder farmer which produces only 1 hectare that can afford AGRIVI. But that is not the case, because just what I was saying, we have advisory companies who collaborate with these small farmers. We have insurance companies who collaborate with these small farmers. What we also have is that producers organizations. So the case when smallholder farmers get together because each individual is too small and they don't have enough money for, let's say, modern tools for machinery or even software like AGRIVI. But when they collaborate together, they can ensure to have better position on the market and so on. So that's why we reach to smallholder farmers through different solutions of AGRIVI platform.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Students, do you want to know how it's to work in global companies such as AGRIVI? So in AGRIVI, we are multicultural. We have people who speak different languages, and many young people who are also positive and who are also willing to learn about these new technologies, about the digital agriculture, because digital agriculture is something that is not so present, like it's new industry, it's something that is new. So people are happy to learn about these new technologies and how about these technologies can change something in the way food is produced and so on.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate your time, Ines. And again, this is recorded and we will be sharing it on our YouTube page, and we'll be sharing it with everyone who registered. I know that I received some emails from some people saying that they weren't going to be able to make it, even though they definitely wanted to hear about it. So we'll be sending an email to those who weren't able to make it so that they can watch the recording. So again, thank you again to Ines for sharing everything about AGRIVI, and we look forward to seeing everyone again at our next international programs seminar. So thank you again, Ines.
Thank you very much. And thanks everyone for their questions. Bye-bye.
Good. Bye.